This is a special edition of Kirb Appeal coming to you from a Canadian jail. You know, the Olympics are in Vancouver this year, and so, there's been a lot of news about Canada and, Vancouver, and I've been kind of listening because, I'm half Canadian. I'm not sure which half is the Canadian half. I'm thinking it's the thighs. So, I've been listening and, started hearing things about orphans. Orphans up in, the Northwest Territories. Inuit orphans. Inuit is like the new word for Eskimo. And, they call them First People or something up there. And I thought, being as I'm half Canadian, I would go up and I would try and help those orphans and maybe bring them down here and, give them to good homes. So, I got in my little car and, it's an SUV with front wheel drive, so I had no problem getting up here. And, they didn't give me too much of a hassle at the border. Just went up and looked around and said, y'all have orphans up here that need homes, and, decided to load up my SUV with orphans and bring them back. And they said, we don't have any orphans. And I said, what are you talking about? You don't have any orphans? Look, it's Canada. You mean you don't have orphans? All this snow and ice and no orphans? No orphans. So I got to thinking, well, I'm up here. I got to smuggle something across the border. Well, of course, it came to me. What people always go to Canada for, to smuggle across the border. Beer and cigarettes. So I thought, okay, I'll just load up my trunk with, beer and smokes. So I did. Wasn't as easy coming back this direction. And I don't look like, somebody you can't trust. I think I made my big mistake when I said, when they said to me, what was the reason for your trip to Canada? And I said, I came up to help the orphans. I was going to give them a good home, in America, where it's warmer. They didn't like that answer. So they searched my car and they found beer and smokes. So they carted me off to jail. It's a Canadian jail, so it's, not like being in a Turkish prison or anything. I don't think they get too many criminals up here. If they do, they must have some kind of laws governing how they deal with their, incarcerated folks. I got all the Molson Golden I can drink. They let me keep it. They gave me this cool sweatshirt to wear, left over from the 2002 Canadian Olympic team. I don't know who wore this one. I was kind of hoping it was Torval and Dean. And then I remembered that A, they weren't Canadian, and B, that was back in the 80s. I got a really good roast beef sandwich. It's really good. Rare roast beef and Munster cheese on this really awesome bread. I really want to get back to the States, but, it's pretty cool up here. Rick Moranis is Canadian. I mean, I doubt if he's going to show up or anything to try and get me out, but it's pretty cool. So, this has been Kirb Appeal. episode incarceration. I guess when I get out of jail, I'll make some more videos.